Greetings, my lovelies. Hi, it's Emmy. Welcome back to yet another IKEA tasting. So some of you may not know that the giant furniture store IKEA also sells food, and I've done a couple other tastings of their food products, and I shall put the links down below. This is not a sponsored post. I'm just curious about these little treats, so I bought them and want to share them with you today. Oh, and if you like these kind of international tastings, be sure to subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So in the freezer section, I found this, and this is Rösti. And they are potato fritters. Don't they look lovely? I was curious to see if these were at all similar to latkes, which I love. The directions say to either heat them in the oven or you can fry them in a frying pan. So there it is. Looks like it's already fried. And I'm gonna go pop this into my oven. My Swedish friends, do forgive my terrible Swedish pronunciation. Bröd Mjukkaka, soft bread. And this is also in the freezer section, and it just says to let it defrost. They're very charming, nice and little kind of squares of bread. I'm actually gonna pop this in the toaster because it's still a little bit frozen. My Emmy Eats IKEA Part 2, I tasted a couple cheeses, a blue cheese and kind of like a farmer's cheese. This is another one, and this one is sliced. And this is called Ost Hushällsost. Peel this up like that. Great! So it looks a little bit like a baby Swiss in the sense that it's got tiny little holes. And it looks like it's been cut in half. Yeah, it smells great. I think it might be a cow's milk cheese. I'm not sure, does it say? It doesn't say. Oh, and it says here on terms of strength, it's relatively mild. I love that it has a little strength meter on there. Oh, the bread is lovely. It's soft and pliant now and a little bit puffy. So it's gonna be perfect. So I want to open it like a pita, but it's not going to open like a pita. It's a little bit like a focaccia, kind of fluffy. Let's have some of the cheese by itself. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Mmm. That's delicious. Really tasty cheese. A little bit sharper than I expected. A little bit nutty. Reminds me a little bit of like an Emmentaler, kind of a nice Swiss nutty flavor to it. Delicious. Now let's have some with bread. That bread is great. It's soft, a little bit chewy and fluffy. Imagine pita and focaccia getting together. You can get something like that. It's delicious. Pretty mild flavor, a little bit yeasty, and just great with the cheese. And I like the thickness of this cheese as well. It's quite thin, so when you put it in your mouth, it kind of just melts and softens. Really, really good. Yum. Let's try this next. And this is Sill Inlagd, and it's herring in marinade with onions and carrot. In my first IKEA video, I did have some herring, and it was in a kind of sour cream sauce. Ooh, it smells quite nice. Dilly, sweet, a bit like gherkins. Ooh, very softly textured. Looks great. So let's just have a bit without any bread. Wow, not what I was expecting at all. It almost has like a sushi texture. It's not flaky or cooked like you would imagine a canned tuna fish would be. It actually has a more raw texture to it. It's sweet and vinegared, and the marinade tastes just like pickled gherkins. You know, those tiny little pickles, or sweet relish. It tastes a lot like that in terms of flavor. It's not the slightest bit fishy at all. It is very concentrated, so let's have it with a piece of bread next. I think much better with the bread. Because it has so much of that marinade soaked into it, it really does need something to kind of lighten it up. Great. Next, I have a beverage, and it's this. Isn't it beautiful? I've always admired these cans at the store, but I've never got one. And this is Cider Paron, so it looks like Swedish pear cider, and it's organic. Oh, it smells great. It smells like real pears. It has a beautiful kind of champagne color to it, and a lovely pear fragrance. Swedish friends, do let me know how to say cheers in the comments below. Cheers. That is great. It reminds me of those bottles of Martinelli's, the fizzy apple cider that comes in the champagne bottles. I used to love those as a kid. I always felt so grown up. But that's what this reminds me of. But of course, it's pear flavored. Really lovely, fresh pear flavor. Sweet, but not overly so. It's not as fizzy as soda, but just enough fizz to make it feel festive. Delish. I'm back with the Rösti, and there it is. I do feel like this is supposed to have some kind of sauce or something with it, but I don't know. So it's sizzling on this really hot pan. quite hot, and it tastes like a potato fritter. Very humble. So there is a little bit of texture in there. It tastes like a combination of a little bit of mashed potato with a little bit of grated potato. A little bit different texture than a latke, but same rich, nice potatoey flavor. I think there might be a little bit of onion in there, so they actually are quite reminiscent of latkes in that sense. And not at all greasy or heavy, but to be honest, I think it would be even better fried in a little bit of oil because you get a little more crispness to them. But I do feel like it needs a little bit of sour cream or applesauce, but maybe that's just my own feeling out of habit. But yeah, not bad. And the last thing I'm going to taste is this Pepparkaka. Great name. And these are ginger thins. These sadly got a little bit crushed, but I think they're still, oh wow, they're very, very tender. Very thin ginger cookie. Have you ever had Anna cookies? They're similar to this in the thinness of them. They have a really lovely fluted edge to them. And they smell great too. Gingery and cinnamony. I find I don't really like ginger snaps because they tend to be a little bit hard for me. But these, on the other hand, have that same gingery, cinnamony flavor, but a really light, delicate, thin crunch to them. They're just great. All right, so that wraps up yet another IKEA taste. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kinds of tastings and if there's something particular from IKEA that you want me to try. Let me know. Hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys learned something. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I shall see you in my next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye. It's moving, how adorable is that? I love this packaging. US Postal Service, do take note. Look how charming this is. Love this. What should I do today? I'm going to buy like this, like this.